pop bumpers, or jets. But honestly, these have different names depending on the manufacturer. But regardless of what you call them, the mechanics are still the same. The ball hits the skirt. The skirt activates the switch. The switch activates the solenoid. The energized solenoid pulls down the rod. This rod is attached to the ring, and this ring being pulled down pushes the ball away. And this all happens within a fraction of a second. Now, if it moves, it will break. The thing is, these babies move a lot. So chances are, at some point in time down the road, you will need to perform maintenance on these devices. The entire mech includes over a dozen different parts. In this video, I'm going to show you how to build your pop bumper from the ground up. Alright, so let me show you what I'm doing. I've got basically this screws in just enough to hold it up and snug in the playfield, and I've got these hollow-ended nut drivers. You can get these from Titan Pinball. And so I'm going to kind of show you what it looks like whenever I start tightening this screw in right here. It just pulls that thing all the way down into its proper position. There we go. And just gotta rinse and repeat. Start with your pop bumper base. These line up like so to the screw holes as well as the rod holes on the side. That goes in first. Then your tiny little spring. Then your pop bumper skirt. Now this is important, guys. The alignment of this needs to be like so. You need to make sure that you're still able to get the rod all the way through the playfield, because technically you could install this thing like this and then you'd be very upset and have to do dismantling. So make sure that your orientation is correct. Alright. Now it's time for base. This is going to go in like so. That should line up to where you can get those fed through the screw holes and your GI can go through. Something else to be concerned about is sometimes, depending on the style of ring that you've got and the base, see if that's able to go through like that. If for whatever your ring or the pop bumper base is not the right size, then you won't be able to put this on after you put that on. So just confirm before you start screwing things down and stapling, then this is able to go through the base with no problems. Mine can, so now I can start bolting that down. Alright, screws are in place. Now all I gotta do is just tighten these two down. The screw hole should be recessed, so should just be able to screw down right about there where they match up with the plastic base. There we go. Then you just feed your GI leads down below like that. Alright, now when we do the arrangement of these GI stem right here, they're gonna go flat down. Try to make sure you don't have so much looseness on the other end. You don't want it sticking up too far because these are going to drop down. We want this to hug the play field like so. Now when these come out, they're not going to just come straight out on the play field like that. they've actually got these to where they bend. You're going to see a lot of play fields that do this. They come out and they bend a particular direction. I'm going to bend it right there because I've got staples right here, so I'm pretty sure that's where that staple went, right there after the bend. Get that flattened out some more. And then whenever I get my stapler out, actually it might go up here like so. I got a staple right here and a staple up a little higher. I'm gonna get that camera up where you can see it. Yeah, so luckily these things are pretty malleable. So like so, that's more than likely how that's gonna go. Now this other one, let's see how we've got this one. All right, I'm gonna have it go out like this. All right, so I'm gonna staple these down where they're at. And when it comes to laying my wires back down, if I need to rearrange them or whatever, then I will. I can even snip off the extras right here in case I feel like I don't need that or it's going to be in the way or anything like that. I may have a picture of where these wires originally went to, and I'll just mimic where they were at before. But as long as I'm not overlapping another one, we should be fine. But once these get into place, we can move on to the next portion of rebuilding your pop bumper. All right, I went ahead and did the other two pop bumpers on here so that way I know where everything's gonna be laid out. I've matched them up pretty damn well with where the stapler holes were for the previous pop bumper GI stems. And everything looks pretty good. I'm going to be snipping off at least another 1/2 inch on this one just to make sure we're not too close to this right here, because I feel like this is still close enough to cause issue. So I could have bent this a little bit further out, but I'm just going to make a quick little fix. I'm going to be snipping off some of that to make sure we don't have any issues down the road. But all right, that's in place. That's actually the most tricky part, especially if you don't have one of these. And these are the kind of staples that I use in case you are curious. That way you can write that down. Stapler gun I got from Harbor Freight. It's pneumatic, so you will need to have an air compressor. Just so we're clear on something that you need to verify after installing these cables is that you have complete clearance to where your GI leads are not touching anything else. So I've got clearance going all the way around there. And all the way around here. So that's good. Now guys, this is the most tricky part, and I was trying for so long to be able to show you guys on camera how to assemble this portion, but it is honestly very tricky, especially trying to get it on camera. I mean, I could do it, but I'd be like up against my chest and it just would not look very pretty, because getting this on with this dang spring consistently pulling away, and I've got these parts all nice and clean and shiny and they're all smooth from polishing, makes it even trickier to hold on to these portions. But this is the orientation that everything needs to go, is that you've got this and your spring, your carbon yoke, and then your metal yoke on top. Now this is going to go inside your coil. You want your sleeve in the bottom like that. And this is going to rest in here like so. And get your frame. That slides in down there. then all you gotta do, screw in these two little screws right here. Before I go buckling them down, I want to make sure everything's nice and straight. All right, let's start with the top one. Get this slid right in here, and then install the corresponding screws with it. One good thing about this particular nut driver is that it's hollow, so it gives me the ability to go all the way into the screw without being restricted. The length of the screw does not matter. I think we're there. All right. So it's just real helpful to have a hollow nut driver for just this purpose right here. One more. All right. Pop bumper mech is installed. Now, let's flip this over. This rod needs to go through this side. Let's see if I can get it to where you can see what's going on underneath here as well. Try to keep your yokes together, don't let them separate. Bam. So now that that's fed in there, you will need to install one of your washers. Once you got your rod in through the yokes, you shouldn't have as much concerns about that falling apart. You should be good to go. Get that on there. There we go. This thing ain't going nowhere now. Washer in place. Don't need to over tighten it, you don't want to damage the yoke. There you go. Nice clean pop bumper assembly. All we need to do now is do that times 3, and then we'll worry about getting the switch all centered up with the stem to the skirt right here.